All right, in this video we are going to talk about how to find profit per unit from foreign exchange arbitrage. So basically, how to find how much profit one can get by buying a good in one country and then selling it in another country, right? So when you do this, it might not be obvious right off the bat when you're looking at these two prices, the price of a good in one country and the price of that same good in another country, whether or not there is a profit opportunity, whether or not there is an opportunity for arbitrage, right? So the first thing you should do, step one in the process, would be to convert one of the prices into the units of the other price, right? Okay, so that's the first thing you want to do. That way you'll be comparing apples to apples, right? The next step is then to just calculate profit per unit, and it just equals the higher price minus the lower price, right? Okay, so those are the two steps. Let's go ahead and see these steps in action by working out an example, right? So let's suppose that the price in the United States in dollars, right, for let's say refrigerators is $300, right? So a refrigerator costs $300 in the United States, right? And let's say that the price in Mexico in pesos for the same refrigerator is 2,000 pesos, right? So the same refrigerator costs 2,000 pesos in Mexico, right? All right, and let's say that the exchange rate in terms of how many pesos you get per dollar, so the exchange rate pesos per dollar is equal to 10 pesos per dollar, right? So you essentially get 10 pesos for every dollar that you exchange, right? In other words, a dollar is worth 10 pesos, or a peso is worth 1/10 of a dollar, right? The inverse of this. Okay, so again, like I was saying at the beginning, when you have these prices here, right, we have two prices for one good across two countries, and also the exchange rate. It's not obvious right off the bat whether or not there is an opportunity for arbitrage, whether it's profitable to buy in one country and sell in another. So, in order to make it a little bit more obvious, you do step one. You convert one price into the units of the other price. So since we already have the exchange rate of pesos per dollar, that means we can just multiply this times this price in the United States in dollars and get a price in the United States in terms of how many pesos it takes to buy a refrigerator, right? So go ahead and do an example of step one here. The price in the United States in pesos equals this exchange rate, right? So exchange rate in terms of pesos per dollar times the price in the United States in terms of dollars, right, for this good, for these refrigerators. Okay, so go ahead and plug in these numbers here, right? So the exchange rate is 10 pesos per dollar multiplied by, well, the price in the United States in dollars for the refrigerators is $300, right? And you can see here why it is useful to actually keep track of your units, right? So we have the units here in this equation are pesos per dollar times dollars, right? So the per dollar, the divided by a dollar and the multiplying by a dollar, they cancel, and so we're just left with 10 times 300 pesos, right? So the dollars essentially cancel, and so we find that this is actually 10 times 300, which is 3,000 pesos, right? Okay, so we're done with step one. We converted the price in the United States. We converted the price in the United States from dollars to pesos by using the exchange rate. And we see that it costs 3,000 pesos, which makes sense since every dollar is worth 10 pesos. So something that costs $300 must cost 3,000 pesos, right? Okay, so that's step one. Step two is to calculate the profit per unit. You just take the higher price and subtract off the lower price. So let's go ahead and do that. Right? So the profit per, let's just go ahead and call it profit per refrigerator, make it a little bit more concrete, is going to be equal to 3,000 pesos, right, the higher price, minus 2,000 pesos. So obviously you can make 1,000 pesos worth of profit by buying a refrigerator in Mexico for 2,000 pesos and then taking it across the border to the United States and selling it for $300 and then converting those pesos into those $300 into pesos, so getting 10 pesos per dollar, 3,000 pesos. So the initial cost was 2,000 pesos. You sell the refrigerator for essentially 3,000 pesos, and you make 1,000 pesos profit, right? Okay, so that's one way to do it. But notice that we're dealing here with profit in terms of pesos. We could also find the profit in terms of dollars, and the fastest way to do that is just to convert this into dollars by using the inverse exchange rate, which would be 1/10 of a dollar per peso. Multiply this and find that the profits in terms of dollars would be $100, right? 1,000 times 1/10 equals 100, and the units would be dollars, right? And another way to see that is that, okay, somebody could take $200 and transform the $200 into 2,000 pesos using the exchange rate, and go to Mexico and buy the refrigerators for the 2,000 pesos, come back to the United States and sell the refrigerator for $300, and so thereby they would be making $100 worth of profit since they bought the refrigerator for essentially $200 and then sold it for $300. So you can see that the profit per refrigerator in terms of dollars would be 100, and you can do that two different ways, right? By converting this, or by thinking about what would happen if someone wanted to convert dollars into pesos and buy the refrigerator and then go back and sell it for dollars, and then see what the